tables of content, personal information, and introduction of Indian poetics. So, what is a folklore and oral tradition? So, folklore. Uh, in the folklore, traditions, beliefs, customs, and stories and songs are also said and saved by one generation to another generation, and passed down within a culture. And it's also not reading but sorry, not writing, but it's also remembering. And it's costumes and physical things, it's also include in this. Then oral traditions, uh, uh, transmission of knowledge, history, and value through spoken word, often using poetry, song, and performance. Alandanches defined folklore as a body of a culture shared by a particular group of people, encompassing oral traditions, material culture, and uh, customary practices. What is the purpose of folklore? It's a presentation of historical and cultural knowledge, then reinforcement of social norms and values, then entertainment and moral instruction. Importance of poetic in folklore. Why poetics matter? First, Voltaire's theory of orality. So in 1982, Voltaire written one books. His name was Orality and Literacy: The Technologizing of the World. This book is in this book, Voltaire explained that poetry, culturals, and traditional values are explained, and it's not written but uh, uh, said by remembering, and said through one generation to another generation. And it's also use the rhythm and repetition, because it's very useful to remembering traditions value and uh, uh, traditionality. So, and then Paul Zomther's concept of performance. Poetics transforms folklore from simple storytelling into engaging performance art. Psychological and cultural impacts. So, rhythm and musicality engage memory and emotions. Then, poetic structure provide constancy across generations. Emotional connection to language enhance culture identity. And form of poetics in Indian folklore. So, poetics have a specific form in Indian folklore, and it's also like song. It's to make a song, a song, music, poem, etc., which are very useful to remembering traditionality and beautiful to hear. So, some form is here. First is a rhythm and matter. So, rhythm means classical Indian poetry define specific material patterns. So, it's an example chandas. When chandas is creating, so that time it's a structure is a very defined as a specific, and it's a pattern is very fixed. And use the chandas in some ways like. Anushtrub and Trishtrub. As an example, Ramayana and Mahabharata are composed in Anushtrub. Then a repetition. Word is a repeat in word, or we can say a sentence is a repeat in the song. Like uh, one bhajan in our Gujarati folklore, like Dhuni Re Dhakavi. So, in this bhajan, Dhuni Re Dhakavi Beli Ame Tara Namni. So, this sentence is already repeat in sometimes, because it's very useful to remembering culture. And then alliteration and assonance creates a musicality and essence of recall. As an example, used in traditional labisi means we can say lori, and work songs. Loris means we also know about Gujarati in say Haladu, and famous Haladu is Shivaji's Haladu of Shivaji. And then imagery and symbolism. Imagery means when language is used in poetry. So, some pictures are created in our mind. Then symbolism. We can say some things are use as a symbol, like lotus is a use in uh, uh, describe the purity. So it's connected with spirituality and moral things. An example of poetics in Indian folklore, so bhajan and kirtans. It's a use to pray of god and goddess. As an example, Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas. Then loris used to shooting rhythms and repetition. It's also used. It's used to uh, uh, it's very sweet and used word of sweet and soft word and used to sleep a baby. As an example, Gujarati Hallardu using soft uh, consonants and vowel harmony. Then folk tales and panchtantra. So peoples and animals also use uh, to give a moral lesson and is a example. The panchtantra use a simple rhyming uh, couplets to teach moral values. Then epics, we also know about Ramayana and Mahabharata. So high use of simile in these epics, and it's also metaphor and hyperbole. Is an example, the Bhagavad Gita, which part of Mahabharata, use a metaphoric language to explain philosophical truth. Then role of poetics in preservation of culture. So transmission across generation. So cultural and traditional is depend on uh, rhythmic and poetic structure for retention, which pass through one generation to second generation. As an example, bhajans and Vedic chants preserved for centuries through rituation. Then community bonding and identity. So when during the festival of India, so some types of songs and bhajans are sang by community, and it's so in this people also describe as a we have also part of this and that culture and this community. Then moral and ethical instruction. Poetic story simplify complex philosophical idea. As example, Jatak tales. We call in Gujarati Jatak kathao. Teach Buddhist principle through. Then influence on religion, literature, and language. Shaping of classical poetry. Influence of folk matters and rhythm on Sanskrit, Tamil, and Hindu literature. As example, influence of folk rhythm on the works of Kalidas. Then development of bhakti and Sufi poetry. So some folklore is a very helpful to create a classical literature and the development of bhakti and Sufi poetry. Like it's a best example is Mirabai's Pad.
Now you conclude. It is more than 8 minutes now.
Conclusion. Poetics play a key role in preserving and passing down Indian folklore by using rhythmic and musical structure that makes story easier to remember and repeat accurately over generation. Folklore not only entertains, but it's also reflect the social, moral, and cultural value of Indian society, helping to strengthen community identity and moral understanding. However, with the rise of modernization and globalization, there is a growing need for conscious effort to document and protect these oral traditions to prevent their loss and ensure their survival for future generation. This is personal learning outcome, reference, and thank you.
Comment. Okay. We can display your question.